Hey all, welcome back to the channel. In day 2 on the Southeast Minnesota Adventure Trail. Now, as day 1 was filled with flooding rivers, meandering roads, and a bit of Minnesota milling history, today will take me deeper into Minnesota's Driftless area. Its lush deep valleys and sharp bluffs promise to be absolutely gorgeous. So stick around, hop in, and let's go have some fun. Well, good morning everybody. How did you sleep? I slept alright. You know, the swag is pretty nice, I have to say. It was my first night using it, and it was also my first night using the moonshade awning as well. We had a little bit of light rain come through last night, and it kept everything dry that was outside the tent. And it was a pretty good night's sleep. I was a little too close to the light here at camp. Probably should have thought about that before I set up. So I had to keep the door shut. Got a little hot in the swag, but other than that, not a big deal. Plan today is to get back on the trail, and so I'm going to take down real quick. The gnats are horrible right now, so it's going to be a quick takedown, and I'll go get some coffee. I'll see you on the road. Even though it was just one night, I can tell I will already like this awning swag combo setup for the long run. Setup was pretty easy, and I'll even get faster the more I do it. The takedown goes pretty quick too, and that's a good thing because Minnesota gnats and deer flies can be very unforgiving. Alright, we are back on the Southeast Minnesota Adventure Trail. I picked it up just south of Spring Grove, where I stayed last night. So right where I hopped off is where we hop back on. It's going to be a beautiful morning. Yesterday when I paid for my campsite, this nice woman there mentioned that Spring Grove had the highest elevation in the area. As I drove away from town, I could see she was probably right. Within a few miles into the morning drive, the trail was already delivering smiles with the twisty roads and blind corners as I headed east, just hovering north of the Minnesota-Iowa border. I am headed into Eitzen, Minnesota, and it looks like it maybe could rain. I'm not sure. It's sunny to the southeast, but to the west of here, it's kind of gray. I think it's going to be nice. It's really windy, though. These lush green and gravel roads leading out of Eitzen, Minnesota led me to my first minimum maintenance road of the day. And let me say, Eitzen Creek did not disappoint. The beautiful stretch along Eitzen Creek comes to an end at a T. Go left and the trail continues, but I went right on the trail's southernmost offshoot, taking me further south and into Iowa. The town of New Albin is just across the extreme southeast corner of Minnesota in Iowa. It's a great place to start this trail if you're coming up the Mississippi or if you're thinking about starting it from southern Wisconsin. When you head west out of New Albin, Iowa, and back to the main trail, you'll pass by several designated areas of the Richard J. Dorr Memorial Hardwood State Forest. In fact, the entire semat route threads its way through and around dozens of these state-protected lands. It's here where the trail begins its long and winding way northward. The gravel stretches rise upward, becoming ridge roads to the bluffs and valleys in this amazing driftless area. The roads of the Driftless seem to give you gifts around every tightening corner, and this stretch along the sandstone cliffs are a must-stop moment for sure. This bluff here, this might be my favorite section on the whole trip. Now there's a section on the trail near the small town of Freeburg where the trail runs north on Pleasant Valley Road, which is a minimum maintenance road. However, there's another road next to it which runs parallel called Crazy Corners Road. Now, how do you ever pass up driving a road with a name like that? Well, I didn't. I drove both roads, and you should too. Well, I just got done running Crazy Corners Road. That was a lot of fun. Now I'm going to run that minimum maintenance road that is just to the west of it, and it runs parallel back up to that top of the bluff.
Gas in the tank, fast in the rear view. 2 lanes in a big sky clear blue. No map, no, we don't know where we're going. We're just keeping these 4 tires rolling. Sunshine and the wind blowing in your hair. I don't care, baby, you can take me anywhere. Pedal down, hearts racing to 100. All we gotta do is keep the engine running. Whoa. Live wild, let it curve every now and then. Singing love to a summertime song on the radio dial. You and me is all we need. Soaking in a little wild and free. No love. We don't know where we're going, we just wanna get going. Hey. We don't know where we're going, we just wanna get going. We don't know where we're going, we just wanna get going. We don't know where we're going, we just wanna get going.
Well, that section after Crazy Corners Road is just a wonderful zigzag of gravel. It's really good shape. It's kind of marbly, but really good shape. Be very careful on a bike, but otherwise it's easy peasy. There's a little section that runs on the north side of the Root River in Hoka, Minnesota. It is closed. It's right at the Root River State Wildlife Management Area. It's gated, so there's no going through. I'm gonna have to go up a little farther north, take a left, and then I'll be back on the trail. The flooding conditions were a bummer, and I hated to miss running through the Root River Wildlife Management Area. But it wasn't long before I was back on the trail and on another great little gravel stretch, Chicken Ridge Road. The perfect opportunity to break out the little Insta360 camera. The trail was matching the weather, just fantastic, and I eventually crossed over I-90 as I headed northward just west of La Crosse. It's here you could roll east toward the river and find a place to camp at Great River Bluff State Park. But right now, I'm going to keep rolling down the trail. Another favorite historic stop along the semat is the Pickwick Grist Mill, just southeast of Winona, Minnesota. This originally 6-story limestone mill was built in 1856 and took 2 years to complete. It was originally built as a sawmill, but later converted to milling flour. During the Civil War, it ran 24 hours a day and eventually became a flour milling center for southern Minnesota and portions of Iowa and Wisconsin. In 1907, the mill was severely damaged when a tornado blew off the roof and top storage room. In the early 1980s, it was also saved from being destroyed to make room for highway expansion. Today, it lives on as a museum and National Historic Site. By this time, it was early afternoon, so I worked my way to Winona to grab a bite and check out the Mississippi River. I thought I'd make a quick stop in Winona and check out just how high the water levels are on the Mississippi. And as expected, they're pretty high. Even the boat ramp was closed there. I'm suspecting those waters will be receding here in the next few days. Heading west out of Winona, it didn't go so well, as I abruptly came to a couple snags in the proverbial road. Alright, just outside of Winona is a little left-hand turn as you leave to Stony Point Park. And as you can see, it's gated, so I'll be bypassing this. Well, alright, I am back on the trail, but then I found another detour, or another closure. This time it looks like it's construction, so I'm going to have to bypass another section, and then I'll be back on it. This one's a little bit longer of a bypass. I'll probably lose, I don't know, 3 or 4 miles. Oh, it is what it is. In this case, the detour bypass was kind of a blessing, as it eventually put me on one of my favorite kinds of roads. We are once again back on the route. I guess the detour wasn't that bad. As I rolled on north and away from Winona, the countryside became a bit more quote-unquote farmy, with big green fields, like here in this area known as German Ridge. Then it was broken up by twisty and sometimes sketchy tree canopy roads dropping down into amazing trout stream valleys. Stone Arches Bridge in Lewiston is another must-stop photo opportunity. This 2-span limestone arch bridge was built in 1882 by the Winona and St. Peter Railroad. It played a key role in Winona County's transportation system and stands as a fine example of 19th century bridge engineering. As the miles went by, I realized I probably should have filled up with gas in Winona. Finding this impassable bridge on the trail wasn't going to help me either. Well, I definitely wasn't going to be able to get over that creek. I'm not sure I'd want to try anything. I'm not sure I'd even try a snowmobile on that bridge. But I'm going to go ahead and head back to Altura and then go north a little bit and then head west, and then I should be back on the trail easy peasy. As I made my way to Elba, Minnesota, I passed by the Elba Fire Tower, which looks to be a healthy hike from the road. I think I'll just fuel up and keep on moving. This tight and thickly forested single-lane road drops down to an area known as the Zumbro River bottoms. I figured it would be wet and possibly flooded down by the river, but I thought I'd head down and check it out anyway. Now it's very important to note that the bridge down in the Zumbro River bottom and horse area is not passable by car. It's gated, and you can go over it with a horse or a narrow motorcycle. Cars and trucks will have to make a bypass. Well, okay, this mud is getting really sketchy. I'm down in the Zumbro bottoms, and I was just past the equestrian camp, and just I don't know, maybe a tenth of a mile, real short here, is the bridge that I know I can't get across anyway. But I'm going to stop here because this mud is getting deeper and it's really slick, and I'm by myself and I don't feel like getting stuck. Man, just look at this. That's just a mess. I just stepped in goo. Look at that mess. So obviously nobody's been down towards that bridge since the flooding has receded in this area. And I was getting a little nervous. I didn't know how deep that mud was going to be, and I'm kind of surprised I went as far as I did. I'm just glad to be back on the dry ground again. So there was no closure sign from the direction that I came. That sign was down when I got to it, and I can understand why they don't want anyone back there. It's pretty muddy and gross. I set the sign back up. I'm assuming that it's supposed to be up, maybe the wind blew it or something. But anyway, yeah, it's easy to get stuck down there, especially if you try to get really close to that bridge. This drive along the Zumbro River is one of my favorites on both the paved and gravel sections. There's even a little great minimum maintenance road to jump on that takes you through the woods and back down along the river just in time to roll into Zumbro Falls. This portion of the trail is basically the border between the original trail and the northern section, which was just added a few months ago. Going north will take you into the Hay Creek area and on a few more minimum maintenance roads before finding yourself right where we started. Well, 33 hours later, I'm back to where I started yesterday in Meesville. I pretty much ran the entire Southeast Minnesota Adventure Trail, other than some of the areas that were closed from flooding here, and then there were some construction detours as well. But for the most part, what you see in the videos is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. I know it's nothing like super challenging, but it's a very fun and a very beautiful drive, and I think it's something that would be really fun on a dual sport motorcycle, or just get out and enjoy it and find a place to camp. There's plenty of places to camp along the way. Many of you guys have done this already, so let me know what your thoughts are on it and some of your favorite sections as well. I'd love to hear that. If you would, please share the video, that would help. And if you haven't subscribed yet, that would be wonderful too. So until the next video, you guys take it easy and I'll see you down the road.